Self-doubt is a powerful force that can hold us back from achieving our dreams. Whether it's fear of failure, questioning our abilities, or wondering if we're on the right path, self-doubt often creeps in and keeps us stuck. It can cripple decision-making, paralyze our actions, and even prevent us from pursuing big dreams or important goals. In a world that encourages constant self-assessment and comparison, how can we find the confidence to move forward, especially when the voice of self-doubt is so loud? Epictetus provides us with a powerful Stoic reminder. Self-doubt is the enemy of progress. Believe in your ability to act in accordance with virtue. This quote speaks directly to the heart of Stoicism, trusting in our ability to act virtuously, regardless of the doubts that rise. Stoicism teaches us that self-doubt is natural, but it does not have to define us or dictate our actions. In this video, we'll explore how Stoic principles can help us recognize and silence self-doubt, so we can move forward with confidence and purpose. Epictetus gives us a powerful insight when he says, "Self-doubt is the enemy of progress. Believe in your ability to act in accordance with virtue." This quote encapsulates a core Stoic teaching. Self-doubt is a barrier to action. In Stoicism, progress is not just about the outcome, but about the act of doing what is virtuous, regardless of the fear or uncertainty that we might feel. When we allow self-doubt to take over, we become paralyzed, questioning our ability to act. Epictetus urges us to focus instead on our virtue and ability to act according to our values. By doing so, we overcome self-doubt and open the door to meaningful progress. In Stoic thought, it's not about being perfect or free of doubt, but about having the courage to act even in the face of uncertainty. True confidence rises when we align our actions with virtue, not with the approval or validation of others. Epictetus powerfully reminds us that self-doubt is the enemy of progress. Believe in your ability to act in accordance with virtue. This simple, yet profound statement speaks directly to the Stoic approach to overcoming self-doubt. By focusing on our actions and aligning those actions with virtue, we can move past the paralyzing effects of doubt and fear. The power of self-doubt. Self-doubt is something everyone faces, especially when we step into new challenges or pursue big dreams. We often wonder if we have what it takes or if we're making the right decision. These doubts are part of the human experience. However, when self-doubt takes root, it can cripple our decision-making and keep us from acting. The fear of failure, the concern over being judged, or the worry about not being good enough can all prevent us from taking the necessary steps to achieve our goals. The Stoic view of self-doubt is rooted in the understanding that while it is natural to question ourselves, we don't have to be ruled by those doubts. In fact, self-doubt often rises from focusing too much on what is beyond our control, how others will perceive us, whether we will succeed, or whether we have the right skills. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, which is our response to the challenges we face, and to act according to virtue. Stoicism is the antidote to self-doubt. Focus on virtue, not perfection. In Stoicism, the goal is not perfection but virtue. Virtue is the practice of acting rightly regardless of the outcome, doing so consistently. When we act based on our values, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, we quiet the voice of self-doubt. Instead of worrying about how we'll perform, we focus on doing what's right in the moment. When we focus on virtuous action, we shift the attention away from our self-doubt and place it on meaningful action. Recognize what is in your control. One of the central Stoic teachings is the dichotomy of control, the idea that we cannot control external events or outcomes, but we can control our responses. Self-doubt often rises when we focus on things beyond our control. What others think of us, the outcome of our actions, or whether we will succeed. Stoicism teaches us to focus only on what we can control: our actions, our effort, and our mindset. When we let go of what's out of our control, self-doubt loses much of its power. Act regardless of fear. The Stoics were not free of fear, but they learned to act despite it. Courage, one of the 4 Stoic virtues, is about acting rightly even when we feel fear or doubt. When self-doubt rises, the Stoic responds by acknowledging the fear but choosing to act anyway. It's the recognition that action is more powerful than fear. The more we practice courageous action, the less power self-doubt has over us. Embrace failure as feedback. Self-doubt often rises from the fear of failure, but Stoicism teaches us to embrace failure as a natural part of the process. Failure is not something to avoid at all costs. It's a valuable learning opportunity. The Stoics believed that true growth comes from facing challenges and learning from mistakes. Instead of fearing failure, we learn to see it as feedback, a chance to refine our actions and get closer to our goal. By reframing failure, we reduce the grip of self-doubt and move forward with resilience. Practice self-reflection and improvement. The Stoics practiced daily self-reflection to stay aligned with their values and improve their actions. Self-reflection allows us to identify when self-doubt rises and understand its source. Is it fear of judgment? A belief in inadequacy? By identifying the root cause of our doubts, we can work to address them rationally. Each day provides an opportunity to act better than the day before, and with this constant practice, self-doubt fades as we gain more confidence in our ability to act virtuously. The freedom found in Stoic self-reliance, the key to overcoming self-doubt, according to Stoicism, is self-reliance, the understanding that we have the inner strength to handle whatever comes our way. By focusing on what we can control, our actions, our decisions, and our attitudes, we can build confidence and resilience in the face of uncertainty. Stoicism teaches us that self-doubt is not something to eliminate, but to transcend by acting according to virtue. When we stop seeking validation from others and instead focus on doing what is right in every moment, we gain the confidence to act even in the face of uncertainty. Self-doubt fades as we develop the courage and clarity to trust our own ability to make virtuous choices, regardless of the outcome. Self-doubt is a natural and often overwhelming emotion, especially when we are pursuing big dreams or important goals. Whether it's questioning our abilities, fearing failure, or worrying about judgment, self-doubt can easily creep in and hinder our ability to take meaningful action. When faced with uncertainty or challenges, the fear of not being good enough can be paralyzing. But in a world that encourages constant comparison and self-assessment, Stoicism offers us a valuable tool to silence self-doubt and move forward with confidence and clarity. Epictetus reminds us, self-doubt is the enemy of progress. Believe in your ability to act in accordance with virtue. This Stoic thought emphasizes that self-doubt isn't just an emotional barrier. It's an obstacle to progress. True progress comes from focusing not on our fears, but on our ability to act virtuously, regardless of the outcome. Stoicism teaches us to trust our inner wisdom and align our actions with our core values: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, to move forward even in the face of doubt. The paralyzing effects of self-doubt often holds us back when we need to act the most. It can lead to inaction, procrastination, and the constant cycle of second-guessing ourselves. We spend more time worrying about whether we're capable than actually taking the steps to move forward. Whether it's making a decision, taking a risk, or pursuing a dream, the fear of failure often overshadows our ability to succeed. The Stoics recognized this struggle and offered a profound solution: action based on virtue, Stoic. Wisdom for silencing self-doubt. Trust in your ability to act virtuously. The Stoics didn't wait for perfect conditions to act. They didn't wait until they felt completely confident or free of doubt. Instead, they focused on acting according to their values, regardless of how they felt. Self-doubt often rises from a belief that we need to be perfect before we take action. Stoicism teaches us that progress is more important than perfection, acting with integrity, courage, and wisdom is the path to overcoming self-doubt. We don't need to be flawless. We just need to act in accordance with virtue. Focus on what you can control. One of the central teachings of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control. The understanding that we can't control external events or the opinions of others. But we can control our thoughts, actions, and responses. When we focus on what is within our control, we stop worrying about what might go wrong or what others might think of us. Self-doubt often rises when we focus on the uncertainty of the outcome rather than on our ability to take action in line with our values. By letting go of what is beyond our control, we reduce the grip of self-doubt. Reframe failure as learning. Self-doubt often stems from the fear of failure. We worry about making mistakes or looking foolish, so we hesitate to take action. However, Stoicism teaches us that failure is not something to fear but something to learn from. The Stoics embraced failure as an opportunity to reflect, learn, and improve. By reframing failure as a part of the growth process, we remove the fear that often accompanies self-doubt and replace it with a mindset of resilience and self-improvement. Act despite fear. Courage. One of the 4 Stoic virtues is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite fear. Stoicism teaches us that self-doubt is natural, but it doesn't have to stop us from acting. When we face difficult decisions or challenging circumstances, it's common to experience fear and doubt. But the Stoics urge us to act anyway, not based on how we feel, but based on what is right. Every act of courage strengthens our ability to overcome self-doubt and move forward with greater confidence. Practice daily reflection. One of the key practices in Stoicism is daily reflection. The Stoics would regularly examine their actions to see if they were acting in alignment with their values. This practice of self-awareness helps us identify when self-doubt is holding us back. By reflecting daily, we can ask ourselves, did I act in accordance with my values today? Was I guided by reason, not by fear? This self-reflection helps us stay on course and build confidence in our ability to make virtuous decisions. The power of self-reliance and confident self-doubt can often feel like an overwhelming force. But Stoicism teaches us that it is within our power to overcome it. By focusing on virtue, self-reliance, and rational action, we silence the voice of doubt and move forward with confidence and clarity. Every action, even if imperfect, brings us closer to our goals and strengthens our inner resolve. When we trust in our ability to act virtuously, focus on what we can control, and embrace failure as a learning opportunity, we replace self-doubt with self-assurance. This is the Stoic path to freedom, the freedom to act with purpose, courage, and integrity, regardless of external challenges or internal fears. As we conclude today's discussion on overcoming self-doubt with Stoic wisdom, remember that self-doubt is not the enemy of progress. It is an action based on self-doubt that holds us back. Epictetus wisely tells us, self-doubt is the enemy of progress. Believe in your ability to act in accordance with virtue. The Stoic path teaches us that progress comes not from perfection, but from the consistent practice of acting with virtue, regardless of the fear or doubt we may feel. By focusing on virtue, self-reliance, and rational action, we transform self-doubt from a paralyzing force into an opportunity for growth, courage, resilience, and wisdom become the antidotes to doubt, empowering us to make decisions based on what's right, not what's comfortable. So, the next time you face self-doubt. Remember that the best way to silence it is to take action. Trust in your ability to act virtuously. No matter how uncertain the path may seem, self-doubt loses its power when we choose to act with integrity. Knowing that every step forward, even if imperfect, is part of our journey to growth and success. Thank you for joining us today. If this video resonated with you, subscribe and share it with someone who might benefit from learning how to overcome self-doubt through Stoic wisdom. Let's walk the Stoic path together, focused on virtue, courage, and progress.